Geronimo by Shepherd. You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and I am joined in the studio by the legendary singer, songwriter, and all-round general creative genius, Jade Thornton.
No, one day I'll live up to that.
Oh, today is the 15th of July 2018, which means there are only 163 days left until Christmas.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Oh my God. No.
Oh my gosh, I really want to play a Christmas track now. Can I?
Okay, this is the end of the show. This is the end of my stint here.
Thanks for tuning in. Stick around next week for our 2-minute special.
No. I do miss Christmas,
gosh.
though.
Speaking of Christmas, did you know the One Horse Open Sleigh was written as a Thanksgiving tune to honour the sleigh races happening in Massachusetts, and people liked it so much. Massachusetts. It's too early in the morning.
Massachusetts. It's 1 o'clock. It's not the morning anymore. It's the afternoon.
And this is my morning.
No,
Yeah.
it's the afternoon.
It's everybody else's afternoon. It's my morning.
What time did you wake up?
What? About 4:30.
This is definitely the afternoon for you then. You woke up at 4:30.
A lot of people would not believe this, but occasionally I have stuff to do.
What?
I know, right?
At 4:30, that can wait in my eyes.
On a Sunday.
Wait.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, especially on a Sunday. That can wait.
Oh, yes, people like that song so much that they altered the lyrics to create the popular Christmas theme song, Jingle Bells.
Oh, the camera's on me at the minute and they didn't see that beautiful dance. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Oh my gosh.
That was beautiful.
The boogie. It was only like 1 second. Okay, cool. Yes, if you're not watching the live stream, you're lucky. But if you do want to, tune into insanityradio.com/listen and hit that big shiny watch live now button. And unlike people whose names I will not mention, father, do not try to watch a 1080p stream on a 3 meg per second dongle, because it will result in some very choppy video footage.
I totally understood every single word of what you just said.
Awesome.
Not.
Awesome.
Dongle.
Mobile internet, the little gadget, the portable mobile internet, people used to plug it into the laptops and things before most laptops created Wi-Fi and this kind of stuff. We used to have a mobile dongle that you could plug in to a laptop or a PC technically, and it would give you a 3G-based internet connection wherever you go.
What?
Yeah.
Cray.
Great.
What?
Oh my gosh. I didn't realise a dongle was that old school now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We used to have like the cables, like the Ethernet cables and stuff like that. But
They're still my favourite. They're never going to replace Wi-Fi.
Nothing tops Wi-Fi.
No, everything tops Wi-Fi.
Well, 3G does, but
Carrier pigeons
me.
tops Wi-Fi.
Excuse me?
At least carrier pigeons are consistent.
Wi-Fi is great. I've never had experience with a carrier pigeon, but Wi-Fi is great. Apart from when I'm hopefully I won't be the only person that experiences this, but whenever I'm upstairs, so my Wi-Fi is at the front of my house. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm upstairs, if I roll over in bed, I lose my Wi-Fi. So I have to like hold it in a specific spot because I'm on the bottom of a bunk bed and I have to hold it up by the slats of the upper bunk to get any sort of connection, or like hold it out of my bed just to like get any sort of connection. But then I'll go to my car, which is across the road, and I'll still have Wi-Fi, or I'll go down the end of the road and I'll still have Wi-Fi, and I'm like, what do you want from me?
This coming from the person who just 1 minute ago said Wi-Fi is the best.
I don't know.
You plug an Ethernet cable into
better
that
than a carrier
gadget,
pigeon?
and it's not going to break when you roll over.
Really?
Yeah.
Roll over onto it, I'm sure it would.
This is going to be a long show.
It's hot, okay.
I know the feeling.
I'm getting to that point where I'm just like, oh, I like the hot weather, but...
Oh my God, all week last week, the weather forecast was squealing on about us getting thunderstorms and rain and hurricanes and blizzards and snowstorms and whatnot. And
a snowstorm, well...
I'm waiting for them, I'm praying for them.
I like the idea of a snowstorm because it's really pretty, but as a busker, it's not cute.
Do you have any idea how many gallons of water I've dragged down to the allotment to water my poor potato?
My car so badly. But there's a hosepipe ban, isn't there? I think there is. I think it was put in place on like the 29th of June or something.
I don't own a hose pipe, so I have absolutely no idea.
It's an umbrella term. It's like you can't really wash. Like,
Yeah,
but
I
I
know.
was just about to say wash your garden. You
Don't
can't
wash
water your garden.
Don't
like
wash
water
your
grass.
garden. Can't
The
water.
grass everywhere is so yellow.
Have you ever tried watering a car? Does it grow?
I was about to make a reference that only one person would get, but no. My car is like brown. It's a black car. It's currently brown. It's so grim. There's only so many times you can wash your windscreen.
You heard it here first. In the
It's
world
disgusting.
of modern technology and futuristic things, Jade is the first person in history to have a colour-changing car. Check it out.
Who puts that in place though with a hosepipe ban? Who's there to say you can't water your garden and you can't wash your car?
As far as I'm aware, it's usually local councils when the water reserves are getting low because of the dry weather. That need to keep a certain amount of reserves.
What is something insane like we've gone like 28 days without rain, like a whole month without rain.
In England.
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's insane.
It is insane.
Football was coming home, but it's not coming home anymore. It had to come up.
It didn't have to come up.
It did, because it's the World Cup final today
It's
at 3 o'clock.
Is it?
I think, yeah.
I see.
Croatia versus France.
I'm intentionally staying away from anything football related. I did like football, but whenever I tuned into football and it was England, 9 times out of 10 they'd lose when I was younger, so I kind of just lost the whole like Wilton.
Wilton. There's an England flag in the corner, I just realised. But watching the World Cup this year, they've done so good. Apart from the last 2 games, but they've done amazing.
Yes, they got further than they have in
that's
several
the
decades.
furthest I've ever seen them. Jordan Pickford, what a lad.
Yes.
Yes,
Who?
you just say the goalkeeper.
Okay.
The saves, though, even for someone that is not in. My dad never, ever, ever watched football. He made an outward point of not watching football and not being a man that is into football. And he watched all of the England games this
Awesome.
year. And even watched the Russia-Croatia game to see who England were going against.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
they've brought the excitement back.
they
Hopefully.
yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody's going to have high hopes for next time.
Yeah, is it 2022 or something?
2022.
As soon as they lost, all the memes came out and they were like, "We said it's coming home, but we never said when."
Oh, good times.
As soon as they lost. Soon as they lost, I was like, "Yes, internet, come through, pull through."
Oh my gosh, good times. I've got some interesting tracks lined up for the show today.
I am so excited for them.
And later in the show, I've technically only got about half a playlist put together, so input from you later would be awesome if you fancy it.
Yeah, boy.
That's enthusiasm.
Yeah!
That's enthusiasm. Stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM.
All these tunes, man. Yeah, stick around.
Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
It was perfect timing.
Before that, we were listening to Hungry Eyes by Eye Opener, and that was just. Oh my gosh, you're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and this is.
Jade!
Thornton!
Yeah!
Who
I've
is-
resorted to using the people, just reminding people of chocolate now when I go to gigs. I actually did a gig last Saturday in East Sheen, where I just stood up on the stage and I was like, if you like what you heard, hit me up on Facebook. It's Jade Thornton Music. Like the chocolates. That is me, the chocolates. You know, somebody came up to me after and told me I was funny. It's the greatest compliment I've ever received. Honestly.
Do you know what? I feel your pain. The fact that chocolate orange exists.
I love chocolate orange.
It's not Terry's, it's mine. 15 years.
I didn't even think
15 years.
Oh, so funny. I actually once walked into Thornton's and I was like, give me a job. And she was like, you're 15. You don't have a CV. And I was like, yeah, but I got the name, so
Well, that's a fair deal. Yeah, I could relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
I could relate to that. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to tell us more about what you've had going on over the past couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Should we put on? Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
What? What's going on? Is it?
Get chatting. What you been up to? Let's do this.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, right. Hi. There's a competition called Busk in London, Gigs 10. And I was picked. Yeah. And there's like loads of other acts as well. And I love this music. From the 21st of June to July to the 5th of August, I will be playing in London, like everywhere. St. Paul's, Wembley, underground stations, you name it. I'll be there, hopefully, if I'm scheduled in. And I will be handing out cards saying my name on them, and I will have a little triangle sign that has my name on it. And basically, I'll be posting on social media about this closer to the time, because we're still like 6 days. It's 6 days away. We're the 15th of July today.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. All right. I better start posting about it soon. But yeah, you can vote. It's by public vote, so this is where I need your help.
Public vote. Let's get some hype, people.
Yes, please. There's categories. I cannot remember the categories. Let me just search Gigs 10 whilst I am talking. Yes. So I went to a workshop. That was why I wasn't here last Sunday. And there are categories. What are the categories? What? Oh, look, there's Charlotte. What a great busker. Busk in London competition. Yeah, there's loads of prizes to win, so that's cool. I would love prizes. Yes, here we go. 11 to 15, 16 to 25, and then 11 plus or something. Is it? I think it's like 23 and plus. Yeah, and I'm in like the 16 to 18 group, so that's cool. So yeah, they're gonna pick top 5 out of each category, and then they're gonna have a wild card with the person that has the most votes or something. So.
Whoa. Smooth.
So even if I don't make the top 5, you can vote the hell out of it for me.
That sounds like a good deal. So I can
make the top 5.
That sounds like a good deal. And where can people find you online? Where can people follow you on social media?
Jay Thornton Music.
Everywhere. It's Jay Thornton Music. Even on Twitter, if you type in Jay Thornton Music, it is.
Does it?
It is @_Jade Thornton. That's a beers. It's amazing stuff. Modern technology.
No, it doesn't.
I know it doesn't. @_Jade Thornton Music if you want to follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, I love how you know my Twitter name more than I know my Twitter name. Yeah.
YouTube, Jade G Thornton.
99.
Jade Thornton Music on Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram is something else.
Instagram is Jade Thornton Music. That's where I'm most active, I'd say.
Yes, and Instagram is the one thing I don't use.
Yeah.
I have an account I've never used. I've looked at it a few times. I've ended up liking it.
It's a dumping ground for photos.
It is a dumping ground for photos. That's well remembered. That was months ago I said that.
That was the first time we actually met.
What?
Because you were like, oh, where can I find you? And I was like, oh, Instagram. Oh, I don't use Instagram. It's a dumping ground for photos. I never forgot that.
Oh gosh, it still stands. Nobody has proven otherwise.
I love Instagram.
So do a lot of other people apparently. When I was looking on there the other day, I was like, well, that picture's got like that many likes, and it's a picture. It's a picture.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. We were actually talking about Instagram the other day and how it's basically, it's a dumping ground it's a dumping ground for pictures, but it's only what people want you to see, not what goes on in their real life.
Yes.
Remember that, kiddos.
Amen to that. If somebody looks like they're having the perfect day on the most beautiful beach with the most beautiful ice cream and the most beautiful
especially
backdrop,
as a musician that constantly compares herself to others.
Oh.
If you post just all the good gigs, you never post the one where you're playing to your mum and a dog.
Yeah.
I've played plenty of them.
It's very rare that a musician voluntarily posts the one where people are throwing bottles at them, shouting, "Get off."
I've never had that, hopefully, touch wood. I've had some pretty empty gigs, though. That's been fun.
Oh, empty gigs. So that's not necessarily always the musician's problem or fault, though.
No.
That's usually the venue. The venue's responsible for a lot of the marketing and promoting of all sorts of events and things. And
Sips tea. Yeah.
Yes, indubitably. Indubitably. I had an entire topic I wanted to cover in this link, and I just totally forgotten everything that I was even talking about with 6 minutes.
I'm enjoying this music though.
I know, it's
jazzy.
good music. Shall I put it on in the next segment too?
Yeah.
The next link. Awesome. We'll stick to this from now on, the cocktail party. See,
That's what that is.
that's what it is.
I saw that and I was like, what? I like him in The Great Gatsby.
See, we have loads and loads and loads of beds on the system, and all
Sorry,
of
beds.
beds, background music kind of thing like this. Is
Okay, to the untrained
a bed.
ear, that just sounds like beds that you sleep in. I was like, what?
Well, it could be considered beds that you
We
rest
have a
your
whole
vocals
catalogue of
within.
mattresses.
Yeah. Oh gosh, and all of them are around 3 to 6 minutes, the average length of your average link. And
This just reminds me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
and so I decided I'd get an hour and 40 minute bed put on the system just for when you're here.
Oh, sick. Love it.
Oh gosh, what do you say we throw on a few more tunes, because we've got tunes coming up on the system that are even better than what we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce the next song?
This is Take My Breath Away by Berlin.
Grace Kelly by Micah. What a tune.
Micah.
Micah. And it's Saya.
Mika. No, don't get me riled up.
And it's definitely not threes. It's not notes.
What?
It's not notes. It's not threes.
Sorry, what?
It's not notes. It's not threes. NOT3S does not make notes.
You've completely lost me. You've completely lost me. What?
You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2
I think I'm about to go insane in a minute, yeah.
I am White Shadow, and I'm joined in a studio once again by the singer, songwriter, and all-round general creative genius, Jade Thornton. Who is it?
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
What? All the hype.
This is me. Oh.
See, what is it? When I start trying to hype it up, I try to build it up. I'm there, and it's
And I'm like,
the
what?
singer, songwriter, all-round creative, general genius. Who is it? It's me.
What?
Oh,
Sup?
I set him up. You knock him down.
Yep. Yaha.
Oh my gosh, I hope you are all enjoying this hot sunny afternoon, because we haven't had one since yesterday.
I know, right?
And
I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying this aircon.
the aircon is good. Aircon is good. If any of you are struggling in the heat, feel free to pop into the studio and just lap up some of the aircon for the next hour and 20 minutes. It is glorious.
It is so good. So good. But you know when you're in an aircon room for like just a bit too long and it starts to become warm again? Yeah?
I've never
No?
experienced that, no.
Oh, are you fresh right now?
No.
No? You were hot?
I'm hot.
Yeah, because the aircon is on.
It's got nothing to do with stress and me running backwards and forwards into the media
Oh, yeah,
suite
yeah,
about
true,
15
yeah,
times
true,
for the
true,
past
true,
5
true.
minutes.
Cool. No, but you sit in an aircon room for a bit too long and you're like, wow, okay, I'm now like lukewarm again. No?
I can't say, you know, a long while back, I can't remember if we spoke about this before or not, but people were talking about the drinking a hot drink like tea will cool you down in hot weather.
My mum always says that, but I'm not
And
convinced.
It's a similar sort of psychology I think you're using there, because if you drink...
I'm not convinced.
No, it's not gonna. It doesn't work like that. If you drink a hot drink, you're warming up your insides of your body, which is making the outside around you feel a bit cooler. It's a psychological kind of thing going on there. If the weather's feeling hot and you drink a hot drink, your body is heating up, and because your body temperature's rising, it feels to you like the outside temperature is now lower.
What?
Welcome to Sunday afternoons.
Ha! What?
Oh, good times. Yeah, did you know, interesting little story,
Yes.
that a lot of local councils at this very point in time are planning a new pay-as-you-throw scheme for your rubbish that could end up costing a small fortune if we're not very good at recycling. In a bid to, sort of increase the amount of recycling we do and sort of reduce the amount of waste we throw out, they want to start introducing what they call a pay-as-you-throw scheme, which means the more you're throwing out, the more you're going to be paying to the council for the services. And
oh my God.
I know the idea is...
How are they going to measure it?
This is a fun story because years and years ago they came up with a similar scheme, whereas they'd be measuring the weight of your black bins, and then the more weight is in it, the more your bill will increase the following.
But there's just some things that can't be recycled, though.
Exactly. There's a lot of people fighting and campaigning at the moment to sort of increase how much packaging on food and stuff can be recycled, because at the moment only about 10% of food packaging can actually be recycled. So there's a lot. They would have to fight hard for food production companies and that kind of thing to increase the amount of packaging they use that is recyclable for this to be a success. Otherwise, everybody's just going to just do crazy things. I mean, they scrapped the idea years and years ago, that weight-based thing that they were planning. They scrapped very, very quickly when they realised that people was just going to be throwing all the rubbish in other people's bins. And of course,
Battle of the Neighbours.
It would be the battle. It would provoke absolute chaos, wouldn't it? How on earth can the councils and the police monitor people putting rubbish in other people's bins? And of course, under those circumstances, it would be the elderly and the vulnerable that end up paying through the nose because they can't get out and move around and keep throwing the rubbish in other people's bins. Nor would they want to, nor would they. It's just so many. It's just so many things wrong with that. But I'm really curious because I haven't gone into a great detail about this pay-as-you-throw scheme they've got going on this time around.
Classic.
So I have no idea how it would actually work.
Mentions something, doesn't go into great detail about it. Classic England.
Welcome to every one of my shows ever.
Oh, are they just going to have like a massive weighing scales inside their massive trucks?
What?
Like, ooh, this one weighs 5 pounds.
Well, the theory before, it would have, from what I understand, last time they were planning on using a similar system to the scales you use to weigh luggage. You know, you've got the spring-loaded contraption that you lift, you hang it on it, and the springs come down, and it shows you how much it weighs based on how much tension is on the springs. I'm assuming they were going to have
See,
those.
we have foxes, so anything we put out just gets torn to shreds. So that would be interesting.
I mean, whether it's one big bit or 10,000 little bits, I'm assuming it would still be the same amount.
Well, not if it's spread over the entirety of our neighbourhood.
Well, no, this is true, yes. If it's scattered evenly about the streets, then it's not going to be in the bin, so you're going to be in the clear.
Well, we would be in the clear, but then our neighbourhood would look like absolute...
And the council would have to charge us even more to go clean it up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Because the point because we usually go on a family holiday every year. When we go over to Canada, the streets are clean. Everywhere's clean.
Yeah.
And you go around here and there's like old shoes and plastic bottles and used nappies, and I'm like,
and there are some countries out there that take so
disgusting.
much pride in their cleanliness. I can't remember if it's Japan. Yes, it is Japan, isn't it?
It's crazy.
The residents, the citizens,
crazy good.
The people who live there, the regular residents, they go around cleaning the streets first thing in the morning, sweeping and brooming and picking up litter and all that kind of stuff.
They have like collections of pictures on Facebook of like how polite, I don't want to generalise, but how polite their culture is.
Yes.
They're like, the two-way stairs system that we've got going on the underground. Like, is it always stay on the right?
Yeah.
Is it keep to your left or keep to your right?
I
walk
I've
on
never
the
paid
right
any
and
attention.
you stand on the right. You speed walk on the left. You never pay any attention, Terry.
No,
you are the problem with the system. Then that is the issue. People like you with the spanners in the works, okay?
I'm not exactly a small guy. It doesn't matter whether I'm on the left or the right. I'm still taking out off the other side.
No, because if you just want to leisurely stand on an escalator,
yes,
you stand on the right, and then the business people or the people that are in the rush, they run up the left.
Yes.
And there's a picture of a Japanese like stairwell in like a train station, and it's split down the middle. And it says, please keep to your right. So it's going up on the right, coming down on the left. And it's packed on the right-hand side, and no person has skipped to the left. Because if that was London, I'm afraid to say, people would get bored and they would go on the left and collide with people coming down the stairs.
Yes. Could we solve this by making wider staircases and having a standing still and a running lane.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but have you ever tried going down a stationary escalator? It's the most mind-boggling thing ever. You know what I'm on about, though? Yes. It's so trippy. It's so weird. It's so weird when you have that burst of, like, ego and motivation, how rare they are. And you're like, oh, the escalator's full, I'll meet you at the top. And then you try and run up the broken one, and it is the weirdest sensation ever. It is just steps. But because your mind is so conditioned to them moving, it's just so weird.
I remember once I was going down a set of escalators that weren't working, and I literally felt like I was sort of like...
Yeah.
Like there was no gravity, or just something was out of place.
It's like when you come off of a treadmill and you're walking, you're like... Oh.
You can't stop walking because you think the floor's still going.
It's the weirdest thing.
Just
or if you come off a roller coaster.
Out of the way as you go.
When you come off a roller coaster.
Oh,
and you're like, I feel like I should still be on it. Or like, you know, when you put sunglasses on for the whole of the day and you put them on the top of your head and then you take them off at the end of the day and then you go to reach for them and they're not there anymore because you took them off like 4 hours ago.
I think my favourite when it comes to theme park rides has to be the ones like the teacups at Thorpe Park when you're spinning around and round and round constantly and you get off them and you're still walking around in circles because it just feels like the world is...
I don't bother with those. I've just caught myself in the camera. And I'm going to move backwards just a little bit because the way that the light dips, it makes me look like I have no features. It just hollows out my eyes and makes me look like a Harry Potter, like, Dementor. Because where the light hits here, if I go forward, my eyes turn into black holes. So, yeah, just thought I'd point that out. It's true, though. I went to see Heathers, right? And we were lucky enough to go and meet the cast afterwards. You know what Heathers is? Have you heard of the film? It has... Winona Ryder in it. It's like classic 80s film. It got turned into a musical. Anyway, it's great, right? If you get the chance. They've just moved to the West End. You should go and see it. But we got to meet the cast afterwards because Stage Door is a bit of a faff, usually in West End shows. And Carrie Fletcher is in it. And because she has quite a large online following, she usually gets bombarded after at Stage Door. So often she doesn't go out there. So they chose to arrange it like a signing kind of thing. So we queued up for that. The queue wasn't that long at all. We got to meet the cast. It was really chill. And I sat down next to, I think it was Jodie Steele, and she plays like the Queen Bee. She plays Heather Chandler. Because it's called Heathers. You've got Heather Duke, Heather Chandler, and Heather McNamara, I think her name is. And she's really lovely. And I sat next to her, and the light was right above me. So all of my features were just black. And I was like... I don't know why I've got such a hollowed out face.
Oh, we'll have to get a special spotlight in here or something.
Yeah,
just
like
dangling it
over there.
Yes,
so this way, not above.
Maybe a floodlight.
Yeah, please. Yes. It's grim.
Awesome.
I can't be the only person that struggles with that. I hope I'm not.
I don't know if other people are observant enough to realise that it is.
It's so annoying. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see it. But
okay, what do you say we throw on a few more tunes?
Do it. Yes! Yes!
Was that a yes?
Yes!
Millennium by Robbie Williams. Before that, what were we listening to?
Bye, 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 bye,
By NSYNC. Or should I say NSYNC?
No, you shouldn't. It's in sync.
Not NSYNC.
No!
Are you sure? It is a Y, and when we're asking the question why, we don't say we.
I swear every single one of my sentences starts like this, but there's a vine of a little kid. And I think it's like her trying to read on the paper and her mum's trying to teach her to read and it's the word why and she goes, what does this say? And the kid just goes, oh, why? Oh, why? And she's like, no, it says why. And she's like, oh, why? Just me?
You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM.
Wah!
I am White Shadow and we are joined by the singer, songwriter,
Vine lover,
and
rep,
general creative all-round genius.
Wah!
It's Jay Thornton, everybody!
Yeah!
And the crowd went wild.
Wah!
Today is the 15th of July and I am still here.
1 month and 10 days until my birthday.
Oh my gosh, mine is coming up on the 3rd of August. Oh, I am going to... I just realised on the 3rd of August I am going to be 35. I am going to be halfway to 70.
Oh my god. Damn.
Oh my god. I said it to somebody during my radio marathon and they just went, damn. And
Damn, Felicia.
so if anybody wants to buy me a present, I guess a Zimmer frame or maybe some false teeth or something would be in the pipeline at some point very shortly. It is the 15th of July 2018 and I have lined up some interesting on this day information.
Oh, I love these. Come on, hit me with some.
1840. Great Britain, Russia, Austria and Prussia all signed a quadruple alliance.
Is it called the World Cup? I'm joking.
In 1869, margarine was patented for use by the French Navy. And 1918 marked the start of the Second Battle of Marne during World War One. And
Yes.
in 1933, Wiley Post began the first ever solo flight around the world.
What?
What? In 1941, Howard Florey and Norman Heatley presented freeze-dried mould cultures. And yes, freeze-dried mould. Okay, let's translate this one very slightly. In 1941, Howard Florey and Norman Heatley introduced penicillin.
Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah! In 1948, Alcoholics Anonymous was founded in the UK.
You say 88, 48?
I said 48.
Okay, sorry.
In 1988, the first Die Hard movie, directed by John McTiernan and starring Bruce Willis,
Again
was
reminds
released
me
in
of
the
Brooklyn
US.
Nine-Nine.
Which reminds Jade of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Watch it!
Watch it!
So good.
I still haven't. Watch it and tell me what happens.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, in 2005 saw the premiere of Wedding Crashers.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Nope.
Owen Wilson and
Owen Wilson.
a person.
Wow.
See, I knew a celebrity name. I feel clever. In 2009, on this day, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the sixth film based on the books by J.K. Rowling, was released worldwide simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the few that are actually released worldwide at the same time. Usually, years ago, it would be released in the US and then in the UK and then to the rest of the and now it's just released everywhere all of the time because pretty much everything's online, everything's instant.
Yeah.
And
It's good and bad.
And in 2015, on this day, Robbie Williams announced his return to the band Take That.
In what year?
15.
Wow.
3 years ago.
Wow.
He was like, I'm rejoining Take That. Oh my gosh. Out of all of them, the only one that really got me curious to find out more was the one about the margarine.
Really?
Really? I don't know why, but out of all of them, I was like, margarine? Was it-
Penicillin, I remember learning about that in history. I swear antibiotics came from mould. Did you know that?
Yeah.
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 Just a really, really mild form of mould. But
This
I can't
is-
remember who it was.
This is why they introduced
actually knows.
freeze-dried mould cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was sat experimenting and he left his... Was it Petri dishes? Is that what they're called? Petri dishes? The little dishes they use in experiments. I think it's Petri dishes. They left it by the window and something floated in and it created mould. So it was created purely by chance.
And yet that same wives' tale still exists, that somebody who was very, very poor only had one loaf of bread left and it just happened to be coated in mould, but he was so hungry he ate it anyway and noticed that it started feeling better. So he sent it to a friend who was like, why
Have
why
some
did
mouldy
this-"
bread.
Yes.
Ooh.
And so there's there's so many different stories. There's not.
That's the
there's a lot more than
scientific
two.
story, though.
Yes, the scientific story does sound much, much better than
I think that might have been when it
I ate some manky bread.
patented or something. Oh, pardon me. I feel that was probably when it started to be like patented and actually made into to be concentrated, be
Yes.
extracted and concentrated into an actual drug.
In 1941, freeze-dried
boy.
mould cultures was penicillin
What?
pills.
Freeze-dried mold.
Freeze-dried, yes, using a method of freezing the mould in order to dry it so that they can create it in their pill form kind of thing, like a powdered compound. Let's get really scientific and use the word compound for that.
Yes!
Instead of stuff and bit like I normally use when I'm not on air, this was a dried powdered compound, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy.
Oh my gosh, as for the margarine, that was a direct result of a challenge by the Emperor Napoleon III of France, who offered a prize to anyone who could produce a cheap butter alternative for use by the armed forces and lower classes.
Really?
Really?
Very competitive.
Very competitive, yes. The original process combined of beef fat and skimmed milk with the butter fraction removed. And in 1871, the invention was sold to the Dutch firm Jergens, who to this day are
That's a
still
funny
selling
word.
it under the name of Unilever, who still make Flora margarine to this day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
Bum, ba, da, bum, 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 bum. That's a quality content right here, people.
You know.
We're on the ball. Yes, I've scotted something. I scotted something down. Where did I put it? I'm losing stuff now because a few weeks back I was doing a show about some fascinating facts that weren't actually facts and they were false facts, and we had a whole show based around false facts.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I like that
And
one.
because we was running out of time, I clipped just a couple of those false facts off.
There's more?
And there was only 3 or 4, but there was
There's
one.
still more?
There was one in particular one I've written down again to mention today because in the comments on the YouTube video, Retro Stevie said, "Please tell me you're going to bring up the one about the bats." And there's been an age-old saying of blind as a bat. Bats
Yeah,
are pretty
bats
much
are not
blind.
blind.
Bats are not blind. Yeah, the bats have very, very, very good eyesight, but the hearing is enhanced and exceptionally good. And they use the voice. I'm guessing you know how the theory works. It's called echolocation.
Echolocation, yeah.
Yes, they throw the voice. They throw the voice so that they can hear it echoing, bouncing off of the objects, so they can get a better scope of where things are, especially during the night. But their eyesight is perfectly good, and the only reason people started saying blind as a bat is because they've got enhanced hearing. Everybody else just assumed that their eyes must be really bad, and it ain't. That ain't. Bats have probably got
Damn.
much better eyesight than me, with the glasses.
In Finding Dory, that reminds me, they have the whale. Is it a dolphin?
I still haven't seen it.
Watch it! There's a dolphin voiced by the father of Modern Family. And they're like, use your echolocation. And he's like, okay.
Oh gosh, it reminds me of
Oh, it's so funny.
Johnny English when they were trapped in the when they were like lost in the dark caves. I'm struggling
Classic.
to remember it now, and he had to remember to sing in C flat so that he could find his way through.
C flat.
Yeah, he had to. Yes, according to him, he was saying that the Bedouin monks developed a method of seeing in the pitch black by singing in C
Is there
flat.
a C?
And all I can remember,
I didn't know.
Don't ask me. I'm not a musician.
Because B doesn't have a sharp.
Don't ask me. I'm not a musician.
Okay.
But all I remember is Johnny English walking around in this pitch black room going,
There is a C flat. I'm just a bad major.
Thank you for the
Major
music.
musician.
The songs Ow! Oh, it was a classic. I still can't believe Johnny English, the third in the Johnny English series, is going to be released in October this year. I'm so looking forward to that.
Incredibles 2 is out. I need to go watch it now.
Oh my gosh!
So excited.
And I've only just seen the new
Not Gibbs.
Ghostbusters.
Not Gibbs. Please tell me you get that reference. You know, have you seen Incredibles?
I've seen the first one. Like
You know,
a
you know when they
years
go
ago.
into Little Edna, and she's like, "Yay high,"
Oh yes,
and she's like, "Not Gibbs, darling, not Gibbs."
I remember
Where's
now.
my super suit? Oh, please tell me you've seen that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and it's,
I remember it.
where's
It
my
was-
super suit, honey? What? I need to go and see the second one now. Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, okay, so we've been talking about bats in the dark. We've been talking about echolation in Finding
Echolation?
Dory. Echolocation in Finding Dory.
Somehow I always bring it back to Disney. And Pixar.
Disney done everything.
Have you seen my phone case?
I haven't seen your phone case.
It's Toy Story.
It's a Toy Story phone
so
case.
cute.
And a Toy Story key ring. And what I say, no, and I ain't got the camera controls up
Camera's
either.
not on me. It was on me, and then when I moved, it wasn't on me. Oh, now it's on me. Quick. Oh, it's gone now. Sorry. He's got the camera controls and he doesn't like me.
Stick around to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM, and maybe in the next link we'll get an opportunity to see Jade's phone cover.
Yes!
Oh.
Shall I play a song in the next one?
If you want to play a song, we need more Jade.
Stick around.
We need more Jade. Stick around for more darkness.
Pardon? I feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. As the music dies, something in your eyes calls to mind a silver screen, all its sad goodbyes. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. No, you're not a fool, and I should've known better than to cheat a friend. Waste a chance that I've been given. No, I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you. Time can never mend the careless whispers of a good friend to the heart of mine. Ignorance is kind. There's no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you find. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend. Wasted chance that I've been given. No, I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you. Never without your love. Tonight the music seems so loud. Wish that we could lose this crowd. Maybe it's better this way. We'd hurt each other with the things we want to say. Could have been so good together. Could have had this dance forever. Now who's gonna dance? Me, please, babe. But I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm, though it's easy to pretend. No, you're not a fool, and I should've known better than to cheat a friend. Waste the chance that I've been given. No, I'm never gonna dance again where I dance with you. Yeah, boy.
Jade Thornton. Check it out. I absolutely love that song so much.
It's such a good song, isn't it?
Yes.
I love it.
I love the song.
Love me a bit of George Michael.
I love me a bit of music.
Love me a bit of music. That was a recent cover. I learned about like a few days ago.
Smooth.
Smooth operator.
Speaking of music, I've got a couple of interesting facts here about the world of music.
Yes, hit me.
Starting with the rapper No Clue.
No clue who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the rapper No Clue set the world record in 2005 for the fastest rapper by rapping 723 syllables in just 51.27 seconds.
Wow, that's insane.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
And I've heard I'm still trying to find actual scientific proof of this, but there's something rolling around everywhere that your heartbeat mimics the beat of the music you're listening to.
No.
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 No, just no.
No.
There you go. Debunked. Officially live on air.
Yes! I am scientist! No. Do you know the most satisfying thing, though, is when the rhythm of your footsteps... No. When the rhythm of your footsteps matches the song you're listening to. No?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, I think the best song to do that to is Arctic Monkeys, Do I Want to Know? Because, it's like...
I love it when you're tapping or clapping your hands to a song.
And you're like walking down the street and you're like... It's not good when you need to go somewhere, though, because then it slows you down. But still, it's great.
I love it when you clap into a song and then there's like a half beat and you completely lose it and you're just like,
No, from a musician's point of view, my favourite thing is when... Not my favourite thing, I'm joking, I hate it. I'm joking. If you don't have a backing track, when people start clapping along, it is so off-putting. No, when they do it in time, it's fine. But 9.9 times out of 10, people speed up.
Yeah.
And I remember in secondary school, I did Don't by Ed Sheeran, and that's quite a fast-paced song. And because it was GCSE, so you had to take self-targets and you had to achieve the targets. And mine was, because it's bordering on a rap, I wouldn't say it is. Have you heard the song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a fast song. And I was, my objective, that's the word, was to not speed up and to not run out of breath during the song, so to pace myself. And then the audience started clapping along, so I started speeding up and I was like, ah! And because it's and it's just, if you're gonna clap in time. That is what I always say.
There we are.
You don't need to be a musician to clap in time.
There's your goal for this week. If
there's a backing track, by all means, go for it.
If you ever see Jade performing and you start off,
that makes me sound so obnoxious.
If you see her singing My Heart Will Go On, start clapping with a slow tempo and slowly speed it up until in the end she sounds like a chipmunk, just like every night I dream to see you.
Every night I see
you could turn it into a rap, couldn't you? Could start.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Easy,
not
easy. We'll make it happen.
We'll whip out the. Is it Celine Dion? Yeah.
Yes, and when you get one of those songs stuck. Insanity Radio, everybody. 103.2 FM. Jade Thornton.
Stop undercutting my impressions, Terry. Stop it. It's like you can't listen to Believe by Cher without impersonating her.
Come on, what makes me chuckle is when you pretend.
You believe in love. You can't not.
Metallica is the first and only band ever to perform on all 7 continents after playing a concert in Antarctica called
I was going to say Antarctica, yeah.
Yes, you know.
I know my continents.
You know your continents.
Really? Wow. That's crazy.
I'm still struggling to spell consonants, let alone know them.
That is crazy. All 7 continents.
All 7 continents.
Damn.
I know, right? And it was 2014 when revenue from Spotify and Pandora and other online sources like that actually outperformed CDs. 2014. Actually,
Hey, Pandora.
Pandora. It's an American thing.
What? Never heard of it.
You never heard of it?
No, I heard Pandora bracelets, but...
Oh, gosh, yes. Pandora bracelets. They're a thing.
They're an expensive thing, but
Somehow they are still a thing. M&M's The Real Slim Shady.
Oh, I got excited then because I thought you were on about sweets.
Nah. Oh, I love M&M. Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
Real Slim Shady,
Next week,
please
sweet
stand
facts.
up. Please stand up.
That was written 3 hours before the final cut of the album was due to the record company.
Oh my god.
Yes, it was due to be given to the record company, and it was 3 hours before that was written and sorted. Yeah.
Damn.
I know, right? I know. It's impressive stuff. What accent was that?
I don't know. Just making up as we go along.
And Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield. Does this mean anything to you?
No.
No. The Canadian astronaut Chris Hadfield released an album of songs entirely recorded in space.
In space?
In space.
Damn.
You know, not on Earth.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you for clarifying.
just making sure. You could have...
Terry!
You could have thought I just meant in an area with a lot of room.
What do you think I am, Tessa? What do you think I am? Of course I know what you mean.
I forget you're not as slow as me on a Sunday afternoon. It's still morning for me.
It's debatable.
And
I'm slightly more fueled today because I had actually had lunch before I came.
Nice.
Thanks, Mum.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Mum.
Thank you, Mama.
Mama.
Ooh. I just make any tenuous connection to...
Now, some people know some of these names, and everybody knows all of these names, but some people know this fact, but some people are surprised by it, and some people... I'm just rambling now.
A lot of some people's, yeah.
There's a lot of some people's going on here. There's the Beatles, Frank Sinatra, and Jimi Hendrix could not read or write music.
Wow.
I know, right?
The Beatles couldn't write music.
The Beatles couldn't
I'm
write
using
music
that now.
or read it.
Because I hate to admit it, I can't either.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
It's
can't.
shameful. It really is shameful.
I
don't blame it on my teachers, I blame it on myself.
in my opinion, somebody who can perform as well as you do without even need to read the music,
Thanks!
that takes talent.
I can read tab music. I can... there's no way... Being a singer, if you're like a professional, like high standard session singer as well, you should be able to sight read, and I cannot do that. I can't write sheet music, and I cannot read sheet music.
I mean, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but it's probably just dawned on me that Stevie Wonder probably couldn't read music either.
That is true, and I love me a bit of Stevie Wonder.
So do I. It's absolute musical genius. Yes. And something else I discovered. I didn't really discover it as much as sort of realise it was an actual thing. Now, we have some of the best talent in the world, like Queen and Bob Marley and Jimi Hendrix and Tupac.
Yeah.
Okay, we had Tupac. None of them ever won a Grammy.
What?
But somehow, Milli Vanilli and Justin Bieber did.
That makes me so upset.
Doesn't it?
Well, no, they only get Grammys after they die, isn't it? It's like, you know, people only get fame. You only miss something when it's gone. It's that thing. Do you get what I mean?
No.
No?
No.
No, like, you know when Michael Jackson died, how popular did he get?
This is true, yeah.
He got so popular after... Oh, don't get me wrong, he was incredibly popular before he died, but his popularity went through the roof after he died.
This is true.
And people only get commended for what they've done. Amy Winehouse, through the roof.
This is pretty much
Michael
a fact
Jackson, through the roof.
This is true. This is very, very true.
People only get commended for what they do after they are gone.
Just like pretty much every artist ever to exist in painting. And
like, oh, that episode of Doctor Who, I was talking about this the other day. It triggers me every time. Please tell me you've seen it.
No.
With Matt Smith and Amy.
I'm pretty sure last time I watched Doctor Who, they were still using baked bean tins and toilet plungers as
Daleks.
Yes.
If you're going to watch any episode of Doctor Who, watch the episode with Vincent van Gogh in it. Is it Van Gogh? The one that paints the sunflowers. Is that Van Gogh?
Van Gogh is an artist.
Yeah, the one that cut off his ear. Because he was incredibly depressed. And they obviously you can't change history. That whole thing in Doctor Who, you can't. If you change history, it's going to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah,
they couldn't save him. Yeah. They couldn't save him, but they take him forward in time to see his exhibition at the, like, I think it might be the Louvre in Paris, to see his exhibition.
Wow.
And they basically they make him turn his back, and they ask the guy, I can't remember, do you know in Love Actually he sings the song, the guy, the musician in Love Actually, I can't remember his name.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, that guy. He plays the art gallery guy, and he spouts out, he's like, oh, I think Van Gogh was like the best artist of our time, and it just cuts to the actor that's playing Van Gogh, and he's just streaming.
Wow.
And it is the most powerful scene ever. Honestly, it is a work of art. No pun intended. It is so good. It's so touching. Gets me every time.
This sounds like something I actually want to see now.
It's so sweet.
Just that moment alone is making me consider the idea of maybe possibly thinking about maybe watching some Doctor Who.
If you're going to watch any Doctor Who, you watch David Tennant first.
All right.
David Tennant, oh my God. I cannot undercut how much I used to love. I still love Doctor Who, but when I was a kid, maybe like 9 or 10, I'm only 18, so that makes me sound really old. When I was a young'un, no, when I was younger,
when I was a wee whippersnapper,
when I was younger, maybe between 8 and 10, I was obsessed with Doctor Who, to say the least.
Nice.
And specifically David Tennant. And I remember I had it on record, and there was an episode where David Tennant gets hit by a Dalek, and he's on the floor, and he's meeting Rose, and they're like power running to each other, like dun 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 dun, that kind of run. And then he gets like zapped by a Dalek, and I had it on record. And my friend from down the street comes running to the door, and she tells me about it, like spoils it major time. I remember slamming the door in her face and going crying on my dad's lap for like 2 hours.
Wow.
Because I had it on record and she spoiled it for me. And I was like, David Tennant's gonna die! Ah! And then I realised that they brought him into the TARDIS, and he had his like hand in a jar, and then so like the energy from the jar brought him back to life, and
Kind of like a Fifth Element kind of deal.
yeah. David Tennant is just he's in a class of his own, you know.
Yes,
I
I
love
don't
David
know.
Tennant with a
but
passion. He's so good! I swear, I spend like 80% of the time on these shows just promoting actors and musicals. And
yeah, pretty much.
remember
pretty
the time
much.
I had to educate you about Benedict Cumbersquatch? Yes?
That's a sausage, right?
Yes. My favourite. Are you thinking of Cumberland sausages?
And eggs Benedict.
It's just a fried breakfast, basically. Yeah.
This is probably one I'm going to pass on eating, which is something I very rarely say about food.
You watch David Tennant, and then you watch Matt Smith, and you maybe stop at Peter Capaldi, but yeah. And then it's going to be, is it Jodie Whittaker? Is it Whittaker? No, Jodie. Is it Whittaker? Yeah, it's Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, she's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Okay, round about Doctor Who over.
Awesome. Let's throw out a few more tunes, shall we?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah!
I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross. Before that, we had
What a great mix of songs you had there, Terry.
Before that, we had My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
Terry was like, shall I change it? Shall I change it?
No, I wanted to switch them over. I wanted to do the next one next because irony. I wanted the next song. I wanted to switch them over and just
There was more than enough room on that door for Jack, and you know it. That is his song. You know it. Everybody knows it.
Oh my
Everybody with a heart knows that there was more than enough room on that door. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I've never actually had this debate with anybody before because I've never really given it a lot of thought. But
That's a really quick sentence. Was it Kiki Palmer? I think
just
she
try
went
and
on.
wrap a no clues method.
Have you heard of Mythbusters? Very interesting program. Used to watch it a lot when I was younger.
Vaguely, very.
They take like famous myths, like like in films, like when in Robin Hood and he shoots the arrow down and he splits the arrow into like 4. They tried to do that and it's physically impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And they take myths and I can't actually remember the outcome, but they did take the Titanic and test it out in like a pool.
Okay.
And try and see if there was enough. Right, keep talking. Mythbusters.
You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am White Shadow, and I am joined in the studio today by the legendary, creative, all-round general genius, Jade Thornton. We have been here for the past hour and 40 minutes, and Jade has found something that she wants to draw our attention to.
It is plausible that Rose and Jack could have both stayed afloat on the board and survived hypothermia just long enough to be rescued, but only if they thought to tie Rose's life jacket underneath the board to help with its buoyancy. Otherwise, the weight of both their bodies would have sunk the board low enough in the freezing water that they both would have died.
That would have been my debate. That would have been would the board have supported both of them.
So many loopholes in so many films.
I know, but they're not scientific geniuses.
That's true.
I mean, when you're in icy cold water, feeling like you're about to die, with panic, just rushing through your head.
If I was in that situation, I would do anything physically possible to rescue my love.
Including sending the board underwater.
Well, no, I wouldn't. She looked like she did nothing at all.
What?
She was like, Jack, I'll never let go. Let's go. It's so true, though.
Oh, my God.
Like, they've just had this whirlwind romance. Paint me like one of your French girls. And then, oh, Jack, I'll never let you go. For like 5 seconds pass and, like, down he goes. I was like, oh, come on. You can hang on a bit harder than that. It's true. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it. It's like when you're watching horror films and they're like, they see a door and they hear a noise coming from behind it. If that was me, I would run 10 miles in the other direction, not walk towards it.
I think my favourite moment is when
movie logic is so flawed.
When somebody's running and they trip over in a horror movie. They're running.
Ah!
They trip over. They drop their weapon or phone or whatever, and it scoots a few feet away from them. Instead of getting up to run and then just reaching down for it on their way, they sit there and crawl with one arm along towards that item.
Don't forget the dramatic violin music in the background.
Yes.
Dan. That's Jaws, isn't it?
That's close enough, yeah. A combination between Jaws and Family Guy going on there.
I'm like, if I were you, I hate to sound like that big head. Like, it's like watching The Walking Dead. I'm like, just run away. And they try and take down all these walkers, and they're like, the logic behind it is that Rick wants to gain back a world that he once had that is lost to the walkers. No, I would run the other way.
But how? I find it. I agree with you so much. But how difficult would it actually be to do these things in a situation where you're panicked?
That is my counter argument. That I'm like, oh, if I was actually in the situation, I'd freak out.
How many times in the past have you done something ridiculously stupid just because in the heat of that moment it seemed like the most logical thing to do?
Way too many.
When you're pulling a hot something out of the oven and you nearly drop
Mum?
it, and your reaction is try to catch it with your bare hands.
Whenever Mum's like in the kitchen cooking, we just hear ah! And I'm like, what? My Mum, we bought you oven gloves for Christmas. Use them. Ah! I do that, and I'm like, I put my hand over it, and I'm like, Like the other day, I went to see if the ring was hot, and I put my hand on it, and my Mum was like, "What if that was boiling? You would have lost all of the skin on your hand." I was like, "Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's quite true." I do things and I'm like, that was so stupid.
And if you look at gift sets and things, like sets of knives and stuff like that, they actually come with warnings on the back of them now that say, if you drop it, don't try to catch it. Because so many people do that in the heat of that moment without thinking, through panic.
Drops knife, loses pinky finger. That's
always
so true, though.
I know. I was always into the habit. Years ago, if I dropped something, I knew I couldn't catch it with my hand in time, so I'd stick my foot out.
Oh, no, that's even worse.
Just to try to stop it from breaking on the floor. Let it fall on my foot, and then it won't shatter on the floor or something like that.
With Chandler's toe.
Until I dropped a 6-inch knife, and then I learned very quickly I probably shouldn't stuff my foot there to try to catch things. If they're going to fall, they're going to fall. Yeah, just let them shatter. I can buy new ones, but I can't buy new feet.
That's very true.
Yes.
That's so true.
Actually, I probably could in this day and age, but I mean...
Yeah, 3D printed foot. That's fully working.
In fairness, a replacement mug is probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Interesting thing I've been reading about. I still haven't found any scientific evidence or proof of this or anything else,
Okay.
but I don't doubt this somehow. Years ago, there was a general. General Noriega was a politician in the military.
Military?
Officer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Military.
ruler of Panama from 1983 to 1989. He was involved in all sorts of weapons and narcotics trafficking, money laundering, forging custom stamps to avoid scrutiny from the US, all this kind of stuff.
Wow, he sounds like a right lad.
It was a bit of a scallywag, yes. And yeah, during an invasion from the US into Panama, in 1989, the US military blared AC/DC music at General Noriega's compound for 2 continuous days, which resulted in the dictator just surrendering and just, yeah.
Did you see that Facebook post the other day? A kid was kidnapped and he annoyed his kidnappers so much that they gave him back. He annoyed them so much that they just surrendered and gave him back.
I wonder if that was my sister. Is this for real?
Yes, for real.
How have I not seen this?
It's for real. He annoyed them so much that they gave them back. I think that is a winning tactic. Clearly it is.
Yeah, that is amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely say I would go for that. I would definitely be down for doing this. But I can't think of a single person on this planet who'd want to kidnap me in the first place. So I think I'm pretty safe from having to come up with such strategies. Oh my gosh. Okay, now that we've had this conversation about kidnapping, shall we put on the next song that would have been on earlier?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, do it.
Awesome.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Love and affection just to lay down your weapon.
I know a place I know a place by, I'm going to let Jade pronounce this one because I know I'm going to get it wrong.
Buddha.
And I Will Survive by Gloria.
Gaynor.
There we go. Awesome.
Moona Gaynor.
Moona Gaynor.
My new stage name.
You're listening to Insanity Radio 103.2 FM. I am Jake Thornton and this is
Terry. White Shadow.
It's Sunday afternoon. Oh my gosh, it is 15th of July and it's basically out of time already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've got like about 2.5 minutes.
Edith.
2.5 minutes. And in that 2.5 minutes, I can mention the fact that Wannabe by Spice Girls was
Do you
deemed...
want to be my love? Got to give... Oh, I'll just sing it quietly while you carry on this fact.
Wannabe by Spice Girls was deemed the UK's catchiest song after a study found that it only takes 2.29 seconds for listeners to recognise it.
How does it start? So, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So, tell me. How many seconds?
2.29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Down, down, out.
Ah, it's Wannabe!
Down, 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 out. Such a
Oh
good song.
gosh, there is an invention, a creation, an instrument called a sea organ,
As in C, the letter C, or S-E-A-C?
as in SEAC.
Okay.
And it's built on the coast of Croatia, and it plays music just like an organ whenever waves crash in and out of it.
What music or just mashed up chords?
I would assume. I want to believe it's just mashed up chords.
Oh, that must sound
I
horrible.
really do, but I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it. I only know what I've read.
That must sound grim.
sound.
Just like one massive augmented, like,
Yes,
that's not
just-
the word, but
Just like if I was to play the organ,
someone were to fall asleep on a piano.
it's like boom.
Yeah. Every time the waves come in and out. Ah, magical. Imagine if someone got married on that beach.
And well, yes, a
Do you
slight-
take you?
Yeah,
I do.
it just sounds like the seagull from
Mine,
what was it? Not even that one. The other seagull. The other seagull. The other seagull. The other seagull from
Finding
The
Nemo.
Little Mermaid. When it's trying to serenade them.
Mine.
Michael Jackson tried to buy the Marvel Comics just so that he could play Spider-Man in his own produced movie.
That is the best thing I've ever heard.
It had to be done to end the
Oh
show.
my god. No way.
Yes. He actually tried to buy Marvel Comics.
I
just
love
so that he could-
Spider-Man and I love Michael Jackson, so that is
That would be a
the best fact you could have let me know.
I know, that would have been an amazing combination, wouldn't it?
That so would have been.
Oh, good
That
grief.
would have been so funny.
So, is there a chance that you might be here next week, or will you be off changing the world?
What's the date next week?
Oh, don't ask me that. 7 days after 15th? I can't count that high. Somebody's got to go 22nd in like...
Oh yeah, 22nd. I believe I'm free. Yeah.
Do you believe you're free?
Unless I am scheduled in to play in London.
Awesome. I love that's my idea of planning stuff too. I will be free unless I'm not.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Shall we come out of this together?
I'll leave it up to you, White Shadow.
The ever elusive, oh so mysterious.
I've said
White
your name
Shadow.
so many times now.
I know,
I'm sorry.
right? It got used 18 times during my 24-hour radio marathon. It just completely... I had so many guests on the show that I never really had very often before it.
I remember the first time you're like, White Shadow! Not.
18 times in a 24-hour period. I think it's safe to say the ever elusive, oh so
You've got to do a
mysterious
hyper cut
White
of it
Shadow.
now. You've got to do a cut of every time your name has been mentioned.
I could do that.
Do it.
I can make that
There's
happen.
a lot of footage to sift through, but you've got to do it.
I might just do that. Oh gosh! Until next time, thank you so much.
apparently I need to go to bed.
This is me can't string a sentence together. Jade doing nothing but yawning. Let's see if we
sorry.
can bring a bit more energy into next week for the both of us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, let's get ready to rumble.